During the latter part of 2024, Brandon and I decided to embark on the journey of catching big carp at the prolific Roodekoppies Dam from his newly revamped Cabin Carp boat. This is the maiden voyage. Joined by fellow carp angler Neville Barnard, we would fish different areas of the dam to increase our chances of getting into a few decent fish. After a bit of homework checking the wind prediction apps, we decided to anchor in an area that wouldn't be affected by major high-wind traffic. This area is fairly unfished, which indicated to us that it should hold some fish, as the more popular areas of the dam have seen very high angling pressure of late. Well, Brand, we're finally here. It's been a long time in the making.
A lot of talks about this
A lot of
style
talks.
of fishing.
The style of fishing, a lot of talk, a lot of money went into this.
Definitely.
Let's not talk figures. At the end of the day, I think the important bit is that we are on the water, anchored. Took some doing, as you guys will see. We had to figure it out. Our first time doing is very new to us, the style of fishing. But come I tell you guys, what an experience.
I'm definitely looking forward to it. I have done this previously with Neville, and we were anchored to trees. This time we've had to use special anchors, chains, a special application or way to get the anchors in so that you are sturdy on the boat and you're not swaying side to side, and if weather does come, you are in position. But we got it right,
There was like a fair amount of waves today, and I think we were sort of solid. Not seasick yet. So anyway, guys, you are joining us in session at the infamous Roodekoppies Dam. Recently, it's become known as a very prolific big fish dam. Basically join us in session. We're gonna try our best. Like we said,
catch some fish. And
exactly, it's new to us. The style of fishing, Roodekoppies, isn't new to us. I've actually been here about 2 weeks ago, and we've had a fairly good result. Catching fish up to 19 kilos or 43 pounds with a couple of 15 to 17 kilo fish in the mix. A lot of 30 pounders. But this basically gives us access to areas of the dam not fished by other anglers.
So basically what this does, it opens up the entire lake to us. But saying that, also we have to keep in mind of anglers on the bank. So I can't go and anchor, or I won't go and anchor in front of a resort and fish water where other anglers would have booked, paid. Some people take months to prepare their sessions, mentally and physically. So we're sitting in areas that are not really so-called hotspots. So we're probably going to have
the unknown.
It's the unknown. We're going to work harder, and hopefully we get rewarded with something special for doing this specific way.
Yeah, guys, it's like Brand said, it all comes down to angling etiquette. We share the dam. We're going to respect the anglers on the bank. We are fishing an area of the dam not accessible to any member of the public fishing from the bank. So, and there's a lot of big fish to go around. So, Brand, we're going into our first evening. We anchored. Let's all thumbs that the carp play ball tonight. And if not,
there's a move on the cards. We've already
There's a move
spoken
on the
about a
cards,
second
yeah.
area.
yeah,
But we're going to give this one fair game. We'll stick it out to buy time in the morning. And yeah, if it doesn't work out, we'll be on to the next spot. And that's exactly what the boat is for, is to get onto the fish as quick as possible and to land them as quick as possible. And hopefully we get rewarded with some big fish. So far the hyacinth's been okay.
they are creeping in, but
Yeah.
we'll play it by ear. See.
We
see
chose
what
this sort of
happens,
area with the wind that's coming. There's a lot more planning involved. So we have to plan winds. We actually had a drone up looking for the hyacinth to make sure that these massive islands aren't going to hit us and take us out. So that's why we basically chose this spot. So we just got to see if it's rewarding. If not, we're definitely going to move swims. And hopefully the hyacinth leave us alone, because it's actually very terrible at the moment.
And if we do get fish during the night, you guys will be the first to know come the morning.
Definitely.
Well, but we made it through the first night on the boat.
Yep, and we didn't sink.
And we didn't sink, although I heard some funny noises during the night. I thought the boat was taking on water, and then I realized it was just the gentle taps of the waves tapping against the hull of the boat. And but I must say, had a lekker night, slept lekker. No major winds keeping us up, moving the boat around. So
Now the wind's predicted for this afternoon, or maybe it moved on to tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes.
well, it must choose a direction, because at the moment these hyacinths are scattered.
Yeah.
And that's not going to make our life easier. Yeah, so last night was a bit of an uneventful one. Heard some fish, and we also heard through the grapevine, though, that fish are coming out in much shallower water than we anticipated them to be.
Yeah, so we did try to target some shallow, but not shallow enough.
Nah.
So I'll definitely reposition a rod in that shallow waters for tonight. But I'm still... The deep water does give the better fish.
We've got to persist with that. So there was a 40 out last night in the deeper water, just around the corner from where we're fishing. So it's worth keeping a rod in that deeper water, and then maybe just for some action, target the shallower water.
So I'll put my right hand rod into that shallows, and I think you'll probably move your left hand rod shallower.
Oh, definitely, yes.
And then, we'll see how that produces. Yeah, and hopefully a big one slips up. At this point, we're not too sure where to go. I don't think we're going to move. We have seen fish around us, and that's a good sign. The hyacinth often does bring fish with it, and there's hyacinth right around us. So we're just going to sit on our hands for now and not jump too quickly at a move, and see what happens.
Yeah, so set the morning out, set the bite time out, give the fish time to hopefully move into the area. But I think by this afternoon, if we had nothing,
we'll make a decision.
We'll then make a calculated decision, because we need to catch fish.
Like I said, we have heard some fish and not many fish, so there isn't a lot of fish to fish for in this area.
Yeah.
Like I said, we are fishing an area where no one really fishes anymore, so that could be reason why there's not a lot of food in this area.
Actually, last night I was thinking of that exact theory. Although it's not a overfished area or a high pressured area, the fish might well, not avoid it, but not visit it as often as they would, because there's not as much bait going into the water. I don't know.
It's
just
that, or they're just passing past, and we're probably just fishing for a bite.
Exactly, yeah. So, yeah, let's enjoy this cuppa. Thanks for the brilliant cuppa. You always do a good one. Sit the morning out and yeah, see if we can get a fish. If not, we'll take it from there.
Anchors up and go find them.
There we go. After a bit of deliberation and persuasion from incoming hyacinth traffic, we decided to pull up the anchor and move to a new area that had recently been producing a good head of bigger carp. This area is filled with structure and natural holding areas for the carp, but we knew this move was going to be a gamble, as not too far from where we were planning on anchoring, there were major sets of hyacinth patches drifting about. Would the wind play in our favor and keep the hyacinths away? At this point, only time will tell.
And are you happy with what you found?
Yeah.
New spot, new challenges.
11 meters. It's very hard bottom, but it's next to that big rock, so ideally you don't want to ideally you don't want to hinge there, but let's see. Quietly, confident. Nice. We're gonna have them today. Good morning, guys. You join us on the second morning of our trip, and actually our third move, Bran.
It's been quite eventful.
Yeah, we learned a lot. There's been a bit of heartbreak, bit of good news.
Yep.
Eventually managed to land a fish. I suppose we can call it a consolidation prize. Nothing major in terms of what the guys have been catching of late. Might be a scraper 30. We haven't weighed it yet. Might put it on the scale just to confirm that. But yeah, basically our third move, Bran.
The first area we weren't really 100% confident in. So we moved to an area which we were really confident in, and we did find fish in the side scan and some really decent symbols, decent shadows.
A decent structure as well.
Yeah, and within a couple of hours we were actually on a live, and a massive island of hyacinth hit us, and we just made the move, or the decision to move, and we're basically on the opposite side of the dam at the moment. New swim, there's fish showing. I'm actually busy rebaiting a rig now to go drop on an area which I think I'm a bit too far away from, in hopes to get a quick bite. I've seen two fish literally bosh out, so it's like literally super not to go drop a rig on top of their heads, and hopefully resulting in a very quick bite. So I'll give you guys an update on that. I'm going to put a stiff hinge rig out there. There is grass on the bottom, or like a weed, so I just want something to stand proud to try and get a bite as quick as possible.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, we know it's going to be a smaller stamp of fish. We don't expect to land any 40-pound fish in this arm of the dam, this bay. This bay is known for giving fish, but in all of its history, I think the biggest fish that came out of this bay was like just over 17 kilos. So, but we'll give it a good bash. At least we'll catch some fish. I'm pretty sure of that. We'll show you the one I caught earlier this morning, about 4 o'clock this morning, in a second. And then we'll see how the morning plays out. If we do get a few bites over here, we might attempt to move to the bigger fish area for the night again, but at the moment it is ransacked with hyacinths. I actually, out of frustration, broke one of my very expensive custom rods. So I'm a bit heart sore about that, but luckily something that can be replaced, so I'm not going to let it ruin my session. But for the moment, I think, Bran, like you said, let's quickly replace the rods to where we're seeing these fish show, and see if we can't get a few during the day.
I'm definitely confident we're going to get a couple of fish.
Yeah.
I'll give you guys an update shortly.
My first ever cabin boat caught carp, about a scraper 30-pounder. The action has not been as prolific as we hoped it would, but on a positive note, we have seen some, good fish shows. So let's hope the action continues. If we can have a few more of these, myself and Bran would be happy. Like we said, first ever boat session. So just a quick mention of the baits and rigs. I've actually had this one on a snowman presentation on the spinner rig. Oh, she wants to kick. Oh, there we go. Luckily we've got the landing mat in the boat, so if she does fall for some reason, she'll have a soft landing. Again, the snowman on a spinner rig with a highly kitsch pineapple boilies over the top of that, and oh, this cool little character was the result of that. So let's get this one back. Maybe think about repositioning the rods to the areas we've seen the fish. Oh, there she goes again, my lovely puffer jacket full of fish slime. Maybe reposition the rods to where we've seen the better fish shown, and hopefully the action continues.
So after losing that fish this morning,
Bran,
oi,
that's an angry one.
yeah, I know, shall we?
What happened there, Bran?
I must really tell you how I feel. You're gonna get a lot of bleeps.
It's okay, power of editing.
Yeah, and unfortunately I got cut off on a rock. So it seems like the fish carted out to the right and then went under or beside a rock, and it burnt me off on my braid. I did a bit of a tactical change. I switched over to a XT snag leader to help combat with the trees and the stones and stuff out there. And this is what I've managed to land now. No problems, came out the snag, landed, pretty chuffed. First fish for the trip, landed, so yeah, happy days.
Rather windy, isn't it? Right guys, so we are settling into a very windy evening. In fact, it's been a very windy day. The only day we've had action, like we mentioned earlier this morning, our third move. Bran had 3 runs today throughout the course of the day. Unfortunately lost 2 due to cutoffs, so he went over to the quarter XT snag leader in, was it the 20 or the 50 pound? I think it was the 50 pound. And yeah, then he managed to land a stunning mid-20 character common. And then, like you guys saw earlier this morning, I had that scraper 30. We didn't even bother to weigh the fish. Just, I don't know, we after those bigger fish at the end of the day. So we repositioned the rods. Both me and Bran's got rods in the deep water. You guys will notice I'm only fishing with 2 rods, and Bran has still got all 3 his rods. Reason being that I of course broke one of my very expensive custom rods. Still very hard sore about that, but luckily I've rung up Shantan at Cabin Carp and he's going to sort me with a new tip section. For now, however, I will be fishing with my 12-foot crosscast Daiwa crosscast traditional rods. Very nice blanks, love them. It's a pity they're 12-foot because for boat fishing 12-foot isn't ideal. In fact, throughout the session, myself and Bran, this being our first cabin boat session, we've picked up on a lot of things that we need to add to the style of fishing and things we need to change. And 10-foot rods definitely is an edge. Actually, Bran's fishing with the 9-foot rods, which might be slightly better. So yeah, but like I said, the Daiwa crosscast traditional rods, tongue twister, definitely a very decent blank, value for money blank. So yeah, settling into this evening. This area is known for doing night bites. Like I said, we did reposition the rods in deeper water for bigger fish, and then of course we've actually had the fish from was in the shallower water, smaller fish, but it's sort of expected. So yeah, let's see what the evening holds. I'm gonna get some grub on now because I'm very hungry. I know Brand's very hungry as well. Let's see what the evening holds. Settling into our last evening with loads of anticipation of what the night might hold, after repositioning the rods onto showing fish, we were sure that some action couldn't be too far away. This confidence was solidified with what the next morning had in store for us. One of the biggest fish I've landed off my personal boat. Oh, there goes my rod. Can you sort this out?
Yeah. I think we can handle this.
That was like hectic.
Tell me a bit more. I saw you faffing around. Seemed like something got stuck on the transducer, the line. I don't know what happened there.
I'm trying to get the fish away from the snag. Then it turns around, it kites towards the tree. So I'm trying to get it away from the tree. And then it goes towards the reeds. I put the net in the water to net the fish and it gets stuck on the transducer. So now I'm trying to get this fish away from the reeds, net off the transducer, and it's giving me like a proper fight. So it's a really nice fish.
See it chilling over there.
So yeah, we'll sort it out now. Last time I just re-dropped While I was there, a fish bosh just to the left of me, so could be a productive spot, but we'll see.
Let's hope so.
But I can feel my heart beating in my toes.
Wish we could stay another night, eh?
Oh no.
But we'll come back soon. Do a follow up to this.
Yeah, definitely. And I heard that click, click, click on the reel.
Yeah,
As I said to you, but that alarm's flat.
yeah.
So you can't hear the alarm.
Fishing with flat Delcums.
Yeah, the batteries are there, but it's my own fault. I'm just... Oh no. Oh, there you go. I think I still asked you for the screwdriver.
You did, yeah.
I don't have my screwdriver yet, so it's my own fault.
My screwdriver's in my big tackle box.
Yeah, well, sector ready to go.
Yeah.
The worst.
It's very flat.
Have you ever heard a Delcum that flat?
Well, the battery's been going for about 3 years now.
Yeah, but my previous session had started. That's why I bought batteries.
Mm.
But not lazy, but just unprepared. Me. Yeah.
Got caught with the pants down.
Yeah.
Luckily, we were by the rods. Imagine we were like...
Yeah. You'd be sure they like them with the clutch.
Like, are we quickly gonna... Oof.
Yeah, okay,
Let's
let's
show on my spot over there.
Sure, that's close.
Oh,
Yeah, I think we finish up that first fish. And then we get this one out and see what it weighs. I
or
think
do you want to do this one first?
I need the sling to
To
weigh
make the
it.
sling.
I think this is now my biggest fish of my boat. Definitely.
Okay, so let's quickly sort out that other fish.
Okay.
And then do this one. Is that one secured though?
Yeah, this is secured. We'll quickly do some photos here and stuff again.
Sure.
Okay, so like I was saying before I had that run, I had 2 fish last night, both a stiff hinge on a new colour, and I'm happy. This has really been amazing. It's been tough fishing, but these 2 fish definitely make it worth it, and the one that's in the net now makes it even more worth it. Happy days. This is that fish I had whilst photographing the previous one. It's actually 300 grams smaller, but look at this shape. Oh, how beautiful is that? What a carp. Happy days.
Jeez. That's some carp that, eh?
Beautiful.
Oh my word. Can I take that one home and put him in my bath, mate? I want to live with this carp.
What a fish.
Well done. Well done.
So I'm going to just talk you guys through the hardware I'm using for this session. I'm currently fishing a 9-foot Cabin Carp custom rod. Onto that I've got an Emblem 45 reel spooled with 30-pound J braid. Onto that I've got a 50-pound XT snag leader. There's loads of snags out in front of me, so that leader is high abrasion resistant, so since I've changed over to that I haven't been cut off yet. I'm fishing with my Tex IDs. Low sensitivity, it's working perfectly on the boat, especially when the boat's rocking. You need to be able to control that. Back section I've got the butt buddies just to ensure that I don't lose my rod. The last thing I want to do is swim after a rod in this cold water. Rig wise, I'm fishing a stiff hinge rig onto 35-pound boom with a tungsten anti-tangle sleeve. Put a little putty there just to offset the pop-up's buoyancy. I switched over to the pink last night and I've managed to have 3 runs, landed 2 fish. And that's how it's been doing the business. So what I do is, if you don't have time or just don't want to tie your own chotties, use these, attach a boom section, becomes a stiff hinge rig. They come in different lengths. This is a long, there's a medium and a short. You can just choose the height according to the bottom you are fishing on. And then lead core leaders, I've got these with the hybrid lead clips. I simply loop this onto my main line, attach my rig, and I'm fishing within a couple of minutes. Especially if you don't want to splice lead cores and stuff, this just is so convenient. I wouldn't make it any different, so this just works perfectly, saves me time. And that way I can capitalize on my fishing rather than tying some fresh rigs or splicing lead cores.
So you guys saw how Brandon tackles the scenarios we're currently fishing. So I thought, whilst there's a bit of a break in the action, Brandon had a manic spell a couple of minutes ago. I thought I'd quickly take this opportunity to run you guys through the exact gear I'm using to fish off the boat with. So starting with the rods and reels, obviously the Cabin Carp custom 10-foot rods. I think they're 4-pound blanks, so a very beefy rod, but I do prefer that. We do fish distances often and we do fish snags often, so you need a rod with a lot of backbone. Unfortunately, like I mentioned earlier, one of them broke, but Shantan is on that for me. He'll sort me shortly, and I'll have all 3 of my rods fishing again. Reels, the old trusty Daiwa Emblem 45s, and that's of course spooled on the deep spools with the Daiwa J braid in the 30-pound. I've got a lot of spare spools for my Emblem 45s to keep 30-pound mono, 20-pound Daiwa J braid if I've got a fish at longer distances. I've got 20-pound sub braid, and then for extreme conditions, snaggy conditions, I'm actually spooled with a 100-pound J braid with 250-pound surf leaders. So that's the tackle. I'm looking at it over Brand's shoulder here. And then of course I'm fishing with the Dalcom EVD alarms. They've been a joy on the boat. It's been a bit of a mission trying to figure out exactly which setting I should have them on to eradicate the constant bleeps as the boat sways. And I actually figured, you know what, I always thought the guys fishing off the boat putting their bobbins behind the alarms, I always thought they looked like noddies. I could never wrap my head around why they do it. And then Brand told me, so the reason is you create the angle between the alarm and the eye on the opposite side. Bran, quickly help me here.
Basically, you keep your line stiff between your spool and your alarm, and then any movement will happen behind the alarm so that it doesn't give you false indications.
Okay, yeah, so the slack comes from the tip side and not, if the bobbin is in front of the alarm, it comes from the alarm side. That's why it gives indication. So now, when it comes from the tip side, you don't get any indication on the alarms at all. So that I use my black and white bobbins, the small ones, as a visual aid to see whether I'm getting like a back bite. And then of course, if we get runs, they tend to be savage one toners, and that obviously indicates on the alarm then. So that's the alarm, and then obviously the rod support systems, we're just using stage stands with buzz bars, the Signet 2020 stuff. And then to quickly run you guys through my rig choice and my bait choice, I had the first fish for the session, and up until this point it's my only fish for the session, but I did have that on a snowman rig, right? So the reason I went for the snowman is because we've done very well about 2 weeks ago at the other side of the dam producing the bigger fish. We've had multiple 30-pound fish up to 39, all on the presentation you see here. So it's basically a high leakage pineapple, 20mm high leakage pineapple bottom bait, which are soaked in the hook bait dip, the high leakage pineapple hook bait dip or hook bait enhancer. And then of course the pop-up is the high visual pineapple juice pop-up in 15mm. That I fish with I love fishing bigger hooks at the Roodekoppies. You know, we're dealing with big fish, so beefing up the end tackle, it just makes sense. So for that reason, I'm fishing with a size 2 curve shank hook, super sharp, straight point, always nails them. That of course on my favorite spinner rig with a 35-pound boom. This one is actually 8 inches long. Now with this specific rig, my lead core setup, if you guys give me a second here, my leader setup rather consists of 45-pound Duracord, right? And that I tie to a hybrid lead lip, of which I snip the ring off of the hybrid lead lip and I attach a small quick link to that. So I then attach my spinner rig to the quick link, and what that enables me to do is it gives me a hinge between my rig and my lead lip. Now the reason I do that is because I often fish with 12-ounce leads, and if you've got a anti-tangle sleeve with no movement at this end, the rig tends to sit funny with the bigger leads. But because we are now fishing much closer in shallower water, I'm able to fish with smaller 5-ounce leads, and myself and Bran were actually on the laptop last night watching the latest underwater revelations at Northern Disney, and we basically decided to follow Danny's advice and fish with the new Holy Grail. Unfortunately, I don't have the straight point long shank hooks, so instead of the straight point long shank hooks, on that I'm fishing with the beaked point long shank hooks, and unfortunately I don't have Deary kickers with me, so I'm just fishing it normal spinner style. So that's currently out there at the moment, so if I get a fish on that, I will be sure to show you guys that presentation. And of course that's on a tiger nut tipped with pink, as we saw on the underwater. The pink is just, the carp just hones in on that from an absolute mile away. And then I just want to quickly mention, we have been targeting the deeper water for bigger fish, you know, the saltier bottoms for bigger fish with tall hinges, and unfortunately this time around it didn't produce anything. Earlier in the year we've had plenty of big fish doing it this way. Unfortunately this time around, like I said, we really persisted with it. Actually, I tell a lie, Bran is fishing with a very similar setup to this in and amongst the grass in the shallow water, and he's been doing really well with that. Unfortunately our time is just about up, so I'm not going to do it this time around, but comes September it's definitely I think it will be our initial approach. Use tall hinges in between the grass in the shallow water, and I think we'll have a couple of good fish like that. Just a quick mention, my hinge I tie with a size 4 Whitecape X hook as opposed to the choddy hook. I just found that I do get much better hook holds that way, and it really nails the fish. Like sometimes, or most of the times, I've had it where the whole chod section actually ends up in the fish's mouth, so the hook almost hooks the fish in the throat. So yeah, that's the hinge. Like I said, rods are out, but it's in the dying hours, so hopefully I'll get another one. Would be nice to end the session off with a decent 30-pounder. Well done to Brand for the fish he's had up until this point. And yeah, enjoy the journey with us. For now, we've got high winds blowing at the moment. Boat's swaying like this. You guys can't see it, obviously. Let's see if we can get a last fish to end what's been an epic session in terms of, well, just everything. An epic experience. What an absolute stunning fish. We had to onboard this fish on the boat because the wind's blowing an absolute hoolie, messing around with our audio, and the light overexposes the background, so you guys can't see this fish in its proper full glory. It absolutely beasted me in the wind, gave me a proper battle. Another 30-pound fish. It's probably gonna be one of our last fish. There's my phone there in the background. But yeah, I'm absolutely made up. Character. I think let's get some quick stills, get this one back, and if we're lucky, we might get another one. Due to the heavy winds and manic spell of action we had on the last morning, we decided to up the anchors and call it a day. We've learned a lot on this session, and although we didn't catch the fish we set out to catch, you can be sure that we'll be back on the water sooner rather than later.
Right, so I hope you guys enjoyed the remastered version of the Cabin Boat film. We've received some really good feedback on the original film, so I thought, why not remaster it and share it back onto my YouTube channel. Now, if you did enjoy the film, please consider liking and subscribing to my YouTube channel. And as an added little bonus, I've added a small little film at the end of this. It's an inspirational film, footage that we haven't used, that was supposed to be used as part of the Cabin Boat film, but it just sat in the archives. So I do hope you guys enjoy it.